Welcome to another deep dive. Today, we're tackling globalization.
A topic that, well, it's everywhere, isn't it?
It really is, from the clothes we wear,
To the food on our plates.
even this technology, right? Globalization makes this conversation possible.
Exactly. And that's what we'll be unpacking. What drives this massive force, the good, the bad, and
Those massive multinational corporations, the MNCs.
their impact, their power. Are they too big? We'll see.
First things first, what exactly is globalization? It's more than just, buying stuff from overseas.
It's nations depending on each other.
Yeah.
More and more each day. Money flowing, technology spreading, even culture.
Shrinking world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And to understand that, we got to look back a bit. See, globalization, it didn't just appear overnight.
Countries have always traded, but something changed.
Scale and speed. Big containerization, those big metal boxes on ships.
Revolutionized things, didn't it?
Imagine shipping everything loose on this chaos. Containers make global trade cheap, fast.
Like email versus snail mail.
Exactly. And that brings us to another giant leap.
Technology. They call it the death of distance for a reason.
The internet, our phones, video calls. The world shrunk. Communication is instant, especially for businesses, those dealing with, say, software or ideas, not just physical goods.
Working with someone across the globe in real time, that's wild.
It is. And it's led to these huge multinational corporations, those MNCs we mentioned, budgets bigger than some countries.
So why do companies go global? It's not just selling more stuff, right?
Well, there's economies of scale. Make more, each unit costs less, larger markets, more efficiency.
Bigger is better, but globally.
But it's also about getting materials, labor from all over, like clothes. A company might get cotton from India, make the clothes in Bangladesh, then sell them here and in Europe.
Taking advantage of cheaper costs, cheaper labor?
Yeah.
That raises some ethical questions, though, doesn't it? Are we, exploiting people for our cheap clothes?
A crucial question to consider. But there's also the drive for new markets, new customers, more revenue.
Spreading the risk, like a good investment portfolio.
Exactly. And don't forget, governments, taxes, laws, they all play a part. Countries compete for these companies, offering tax breaks.
A global chess game, with everyone trying to win.
But it can turn into a race to the bottom, cutting corners on, say, environmental protections.
That's where fair trade comes in, right? Trying to level the playing field.
To some degree, but it's complex. Does it really help workers? Or is it just marketing, making us feel better?
Questions for later. For now, let's look at a success story, Ireland.
Tiny country, but a giant in attracting foreign investment. Google, Facebook, Apple, they're all there.
How'd they do it?
Smart moves. They're in the EU, so a huge market right there. Business-friendly, low taxes, skilled workers.
And I guess stable laws, predictable, that's what businesses want.
Exactly. But what's the impact? Has it all been good for the Irish people?
Well,
That's where things get really interesting.
last we left off, Ireland was, winning, pulling in foreign investment like crazy. But is it all sunshine and rainbows? Did the Irish people actually benefit?
Well, on paper, it looks good. Jobs, lots of them, especially in tech. Exports through the roof, governments raking in taxes.
Sounds like everyone wins.
Yeah, but not everyone's on that winning team. Some say the gap between rich and poor has gotten wider. Housing's gone nuts with all the new workers coming in.
So some are lifted higher, others left behind.
Exactly. And there's the big what if. What if those companies pack up and leave? Is Ireland's economy, built on shaky ground?
A lot of countries worry about that, right? Getting hooked on those MNCs, balancing the good with, protecting themselves.
It's a tough game. And Ireland's case shows globalization. It's not a magic wand. One size doesn't fit all. Every country's different.
Gotta play the hand you're dealt, huh?
You got it. But even with the best plans, sometimes things go sideways.
Yeah.
And one big worry is the environment. More stuff made, shipped, consumed, puts a strain on the planet.
Like a hamster wheel, running faster and faster, but where are we going?
And it ties into inequality, too. Often, the folks hit hardest by climate change, pollution, they're already the poorest.
We see it everywhere. Rising seas, droughts. It's like globalization links our fates even tighter, for better or worse.
Makes you wonder, is this unstoppable?
Mm-hmm.
Or can we, steer it somehow?
It's where those big organizations come in, right? The World Trade Organization, they try to set the rules of the game.
But some say they favor the big guys, the corporations, not little countries struggling to keep up.
Free trade versus looking out for your own. It's a constant tug of war.
Especially now, with all the world changing so fast. nationalism popping up, people distrusting those global groups.
Some even say globalization's over, done. We're heading back to, like, everyone for themselves.
It's a real possibility. Economies could splinter, more walls than bridges. Who knows what that world looks like?
Kind of scary, honestly. But maybe there's another way, not ending globalization, but changing it.
A middle path.
Yeah. Keeping the good, the connections, the progress, but fixing the bad.
Mhm.
Making it fair, making it sustainable.
So like reforming those big organizations so everyone benefits, maybe even more local, regional stuff, communities having more say.
And going green, right. That has to be part of it. Otherwise, what future are we building?
Big challenges, no doubt, but not impossible.
So where do we stand? At a crossroads, basically. Which path do we take?
And it's not just up to presidents and CEOs. We all have a part to play.
Consumers, yeah.
Yeah.
Choosing companies that do things right. Citizens pushing for laws that protect people and the planet.
It's about being global citizens, talking to each other, working together, even across borders.
Globalization, it's not a movie we just watch, we're in it.
And the ending. It's unwritten. Our choices, right now, they matter more than ever.
So we've laid out the problems, the possibilities. But what does it all mean for, the person listening right now?
That's what we'll dive into in our final part. Exploring those potential futures and what role each of us can play.
Well, we've covered a lot, haven't we?
We have container ships, multinational corporations, fair trade, even the fate of the planet, in a way.
Globalization, it touches everything. But, where's it all headed? What's next for this globalized world of ours?
Ah, the big question. Honestly, anyone who claims to know the answer is probably selling something. But we can look at the trends, play out some scenarios.
Let's do it. Put on those future predicting goggles. One idea, and we've kind of hinted at it, is that things keep going the way they are, even faster, more global, less local.
Hyper-globalization, some call it. Borders fading away, those big organizations, the WTO and such, calling the shots.
The free trade folks love this idea. More growth, more technology. But, like we said before, not everyone wins.
Right. The gap between the haves and have-nots, that gets wider. Workers getting squeezed, environment taking a hit. Not pretty.
And that's where scenario 2 comes in, right? The backlash. People saying, enough. We're putting up walls, protecting our own.
We're seeing it already.
Yeah.
Populism, nationalism, those global groups getting the side eye.
Could mean the global economy breaks up. Countries doing their own thing, maybe forming little groups, but not cooperating much.
A world of blocks, not a single web. Hard to say if that's better or worse, honestly.
Feels kind of bleak, though. Isolation. Conflict. But maybe there's a third way. Not the end of globalization, but a smarter version.
Globalization 2.0.
Yeah. We keep the good stuff, the connections, the potential for progress, but we fix the problems. Fairness, sustainability, that's got to be built in.
So those big organizations, they need a makeover. Rules that actually help everyone, not just the powerful. Maybe even more focus on, like you said, the local, the regional, communities taking control.
And green tech, renewable energy, that's not optional anymore. Got to be part of the deal, or what are we even doing this for?
Big changes, for sure. Not going to happen overnight, but we got to start somewhere.
So we're at this fork in the road. Which way do we go? And it's not just about politicians and CEOs making decisions, right?
Absolutely not. Everyone listening, they have a role. Every choice we make adds up.
Like what we buy, who we support. Speaking up, demanding better from our leaders, from the companies we buy from.
Being global citizens, not just in name, but in how we act, how we think. That's what matters now.
It's almost like globalization, it's not destiny, it's what we make it.
And the stakes, well, they're pretty high. What we do now, it echoes down the line for generations to come.
So we've looked at the dark side, the possibilities, but what's the takeaway for, someone listening right now in their car, at their desk? What do they do?
The future, it's not set in stone. It's more like clay, ready to be molded. And each of us, we have our hands on it.
If you care about avian that, fairness, the environment, the future, then your choices matter. What you buy, how you vote, the conversations you have.
Be informed, be engaged, and be demanding. Push for better. From your leaders, from the companies you support, from yourself even.
That's what being a global citizen means, I guess. It's not passive, it's active, it's making choices that create the world we want to live in.
This deep dive, it's been a lot of information, a lot to think about. But hopefully it's lit a fire under someone, given them some ideas.
Yeah, that's what we hope for. To spark curiosity, make people think, hey, I can actually do something about this.
The future's being written right now. So get involved, add your voice, make your mark. That's the only way we're going to make this globalization thing work for everyone.
That's it for this deep dive. Thanks for joining us, for listening, for caring about this planet and all the folks on it.
Keep exploring, keep asking questions, and most importantly, keep pushing for a better future.
Until next time.